Hey everybody, today I am so excited. We got Aunt Sue right here. Everybody's aunt, all right? Especially down here in the South. Like this is Aunt Sue. I'm excited. So y'all need to tune in. Definitely watch this interview podcast coming up, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts. All right, we'll see y'all soon. I'm tagging a few things today, okay?
Yep. We're on Snap. We have at BIATCH Tequila.
My name is Patrick. All right, so I'm an entrepreneur since I was like 14, right? So that's when I started the DJ company and built a team up around it.
Okay.
And that was very important for me, building a team, because it wasn't all about me, right? At all. It was about building the team. And as I've gotten older and worked with a lot of people, I know it's stressful. You know, building a team, building a company, you know, multiple states, things like that. So first, like I said, I just want you to introduce yourself first.
Okay.
Tell us who you are.
Okay. Well, everyone calls me Aunt Sue, and I'm from Atlanta. Originally from New York, but I am from Atlanta, the ATL. I am a serial entrepreneur myself, investor of 15 women-owned companies, and I had a consulting company in oil and gas and utilities that I sold back in 2017, and then do a lot of charity work. I've been on Usher's nonprofit for the past 15 years, just helping a lot of kids, mentoring them, and started this tequila company a couple of years ago. So here we are.
I saw that. Just that's very extensive background. And I heard you worked from everything like Abu Dhabi to how is that being an entrepreneur around the world essentially? How is that?
Well, you have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn that, when you go to these countries, when in Rome, do as the Romans, you really have to do that, right? I had an office in Abu Dhabi and Oman, and obviously here in the U.S., but when you're over there, you have to just, be cognizant of what you do and the culture and whatnot, and I'm very good about doing all that, and you're right, I've worked all over the world, like probably 50 countries at least.
This episode is really about inspiring not women but everyone, right?
Right.
To be able to better themselves.
Okay.
And no matter the situation, it does take work.
Absolutely.
It's work in anything that you're doing. So, BIATCH, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I said it right?
BIATCH.
BIATCH.
Yes.
It's to empower. It's empowering, right? And tell us a little bit about that.
So, we came up with this company, coming up with a name. I don't know if you have the same problem, is how do you come up with a name and that's not already taken, that you have to get, all the different things, all the social media handles, you have to get the websites, you have to get the trademarks. So, we had probably 3,000 names in a group chat trying to figure out, and I came up with the name BIATCH, and I was like, what about it? It's kind of edgy.
Right.
We wanted edgy, and we wanted something that kind of people would always remember, which is great. And remember, we can define it what we want, and that's exactly what we're doing. We took our bottles are these beautiful lips, and we are using the lips of the bottle, the lips, to redefine that word, so it means a fierce, unapologetic woman. And because I've been an investor in those 15 women-owned companies, I really have a big passion to help women entrepreneurs. And I know this is all about everybody entrepreneur, but really for me, my big mission is to help those other women.
Right.
Even you as a black man have more opportunities than women. And if you're a black woman, it's a double whammy. So I really have a passion. One of our things is to make 50 women millionaires. So when we went to get our investors, I said, I'm going to get only women. Mm-hmm. So our initial investors are only women, and of them, 20% are minority. And I really wanted to give the women an opportunity to invest in something that really is going to be big. So here we are, and that was my mission. And, it didn't start 3 years ago. It started 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when I had this thing that I really wanted to be part of something that really helped women catapult and get to that next level.
So it's really about taking those influencers and seeing, is it if they already have something, or if they're interested in doing something, to kind of give them a little bit more help, essentially, right? More coaching and things like that, right?
Well, it's a little bit of both, right? So when we use an influencer, what we want them to do is we want to give them partial money and partial shares, because we want them to feel like they own something and they're part of this community that really wants them to take them to the next level. So in coaching them on just everything, like maybe how to, what do you do, make sure that they have bank accounts. Like you wouldn't, you live in Atlanta, so we've got people that have millions of dollars and don't even have a credit card. You'd be surprised. So just coaching, and I have a couple of influencers, over 1 million followers, that I'm like, okay, we need to get you to have a credit card, how to use the credit card, make sure you pay the credit card off every month, the discipline that comes with that, and pay your taxes and things of that sort, which again, you as an entrepreneur know that, but there's a lot of people that don't.
I think that is very crucial, those things that I wish I would have learned back then, and there's still things that I'm still learning now, right? So I feel like it's always evolving atmosphere, essentially, right? It's not, it's always changing. It's not constant, right?
Correct. Well, that's why you have to have people around you, and I think I put out a little video of what's the difference between a mentor and a coach.
Right.
A mentor is somebody that you don't have to pay, but a coach, and I've had a business coach for 24 years, and that's a paid business coach, right? They're the ones that, like, he helped me sell my company in 2017 when I sold my consulting company, and if it weren't for him, it'd be, my life would have been very different, because when you're going through a sale, it's so stressful, and there's so many things, and you get very emotional, and you're like, oh, forget it, I'm not going to do this. And he's like, all right, are you going to walk away for a little bit of money, or are you going to keep going through? And you're like, okay. So you need somebody to bring you down and to be reasonable, and somebody that you trust, right? So he's been every step of the road. Even with BIATCH now, what we are doing is we are disrupting the whole liquor industry, okay? Because if you think about it, first of all, we're the only liquor that is marketed just to women, okay? Nobody can name one outside of Bethany Frankel, right, that is marketed to women. So there's a huge hole. So what we're doing is we're plugging right into that hole, and the women feel that, right? And it's by women for women, which you can't discount that, because that's a big, huge thing. A lot of this stuff is like this guy telling me as a woman, oh, you need to drink this, or you need to eat this, or you need to wear this. No, this is a woman telling another woman. So there's a lot of trust there. And that's why these big groups on like Facebook and all that, the mother groups, women trust other women. And so it's really kind of cool. So, we're just building out that whole woman network and like sharing everything, right? I mean, I sold my business, like I said, in 2017. If somebody gave me $10 million tomorrow, it's not going to change my life. Like, that's not what I'm all about. I'm in a very different atmosphere. I want to bring those and bring them up. And then, people talk, oh, my legacy. Well, I don't have kids. My nieces and nephews, they don't need my money. They got money from their parents. So for me, it really is all about, my legacy is more, what did I do for the community?
And you're very bold about it, right?
Yes.
Because it's like, if you're trying to do something different, you got to be different. You got to move a different way, right?
Yep.
And every time I see you, just like when I saw your social media, I'm like, this lady she's killing it. I mean, you're out there. You're going to these things. You're moving and shaking, And I feel like that is super important, that, entrepreneurs and they need to know that, right? You got to be out there. People have to know you.
Yes.
Do you feel like people got to know you first before they know the brand, essentially?
Yeah, I think, that's part of the authenticity of the brand, right? People, why do people call me Aunt Sue? Well, because I'm their auntie, right? If they come to me for advice, I am not there to take advantage of them, I'm very connected in the music industry here in Atlanta, and there have been multiple people, hey, can you connect me with this person? Sure. And they're like, well, I'll give you money. I don't want your money. Like, that's not what we're all about. We're supposed to be giving forward. So always remember that and give forward. And you can ask anybody who knows me or met me. I'm always nice to them. And, if they ask for advice, like random people, like DM me, I answer every DM. And if they ask for advice, specific advice, I give it to them. They may not want to hear it, but I give it to them. And really, what the beauty of an entrepreneur is we make it look easy, right? Everyone's oh, they're so easy. They've got everything. Well, guess what? I grew up in the ghetto. I came up. I'm first generation. Off the boat, whatever. And so I wasn't given anything. Everything that I have or did, I hustled for. And I think that's the other big thing is the kids nowadays don't realize you have to hustle. You can't even imagine. I put out that one video of me unloading this truck that came from China.
That's what I saw. I was like, wow. Shoot. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. What do you do? And I'm like, well, the guy's like, well, I'll be there between 8 and 12. I can't get a moving company so I ran over to the U-Haul, got the U-Haul, brought my 2 cousins with me, and I'm like, okay, girls, we're going to unload this truck. So now I'm talking a big, huge truck. So
I saw it.
Yeah, but you didn't see what we unloaded it to. We had to unload it in my garage. So now my 5-car garage barely fits 2 cars. But anyway, so I unloaded it twice. You can't be afraid to do that, right? You can't be afraid to sweep. You can't be afraid to hustle. So many people, oh, I don't do that. I'm the CEO. Well, I don't have that. And you can ask any of the kids that work for me or work with me. I'm in there in the trenches.
Right, because you're a leader.
Yes.
That's what it takes to be a leader. You're not just, hey, you do this. You're actually jumping in with them and doing it.
Correct.
And I think that's definitely super important. For me, like I said, have you ever heard of the word Worktrepreneur before?
No.
I mean, it froze for me, so I do a lot, right? So I was like, Jesus, I work a lot. And I'm an entrepreneur. I was like, I'm a Worktrepreneur. So it's somebody that combines the mindset of being an entrepreneur with work, right? Yep. And just those principles, because there's a lot we have going on, but we have to keep pushing. It's the hustle and it's the purpose that's behind it, essentially, right? Right. We all do something. We do it for a purpose.
Correct.
Your goal is to make 50 women millionaires. That is amazing. That's crazy. That is such a bold statement, though. So that's what I love about BIATCH Tequila. And I love, you got to say it like that. Like you said, it is a statement, right? Yes. I love it. So
and the whole thing is that I have the vision of the billionaire, right? The billion company vision, and what comes with that is there's all kinds of things, like thinking very, very long term, thinking about our trademarks in all these different countries, which I applied for like a year and a half back, 2 years. Actually 2 years ago, October 2 years ago. And, somebody that really thinks that, like, I know we are going to be $1 billion company. And with that, you got to make sure that you always think over there, right? You always think long term. And things that you do, you have to think of what the long-term effects are, right? We can't be too short-sighted. Now, the other thing we were discussing on the way here, a lot of times, and I'm sure you've seen this, is people forget about profitability, right? When I started out, I wanted to make sure every step of the way we make everything profitable, right? So, and that's very important because people, where I've seen a lot of people fail, and especially on product companies, is that people forget they have to make a profit every single step of the way. Now there's a cash flow, which is different than making a profit. So always keeping your eye on that gross profit.
And I'm glad you said that, because that is super important. I mean, because that could make a big difference as the years go. You know, at some point, you got to say, is this worth it or not?
Right.
But you, from the beginning, you already had that mindset of, this is bigger than me, so it definitely, these profits have to be there, right?
Yep.
And I think that's super important, essentially, right?
Yep, absolutely. And those were, you know, I had three things that we were gonna make sure that we had, and that profitability was very, very important. Because I sat down with an industry expert and I said, if you were going to acquire a company, what are these things that you're going to do? That profitability percentage is a very, very big thing. Even in my old company, in my consulting company, same thing. Why did I have it for almost 25 years? Is because every step of the way I made sure that we had a profitability. Like, if you can't do a profit, you ain't gonna make it.
BIATCH is now available in over 640 stores
Yes.
across the U.S., including 65 in Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay, so
Isn't that amazing?
that's amazing.
It's called connections.
In the
Connections.
beginning, so connections?
So
your network, right?
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. Network is your net worth.
Yep.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I got my connection to my distributor. They're two hardest states in the entire country. If you were the big drinkers of tequila, definitely Tennessee and Georgia.
Okay.
And how I got my connection is I've sat on the board of the counselors for President Carter since 2006. I've been very good friends with President Carter and Mrs. Carter since like 2001. And I went to the funeral, all the funeral stuff for President Carter. But you know, through that, I knew people, and then I was like, oh, I need some help trying to get into the distributor in Georgia. And my friend Michelle's like, you know what my husband does? And I'm like, no. Oh, he's the lobbyist for the liquor industry for the state of Georgia. I was like, oh, snap. Okay. Well, then, you know, 3 days later, I got a meeting. And of course, you know.
That easy.
Yeah.
That
You
is
have
easy.
to have good connections.
That's
And
awesome.
a good reputation, right?
That's true.
So I went in, and of course, you know, they're like, oh, here's another girl. We gotta, because it was a connection, we gotta meet with them. Well, you know, the guy's like, oh, I have an hour. 3 hours later, they were like, okay, we love this. This is the sexiest brand, the greatest brand we've seen in 25 years of business. Like these guys were 25 and 30 years in the business, and they're like, wow, this is really got some legs. And that's really what we wanted to work with. We wanted people, we wanted to work with people who saw the vision and that supported us. Because we did have somebody else that they were like, you know, it's very dominated. This industry is dominated by older white men, right? And they've been in the industry for 30 years. And here we come, girls, you know, cutesy, but we're serious. And don't mess with us.
Very demure.
Yeah, very demure. But we're fierce and unapologetic. So, you know, it was important, and they're like, who are these girls? Like, what are they doing? And we just had, you know, okay, so we had a great month in December. And then, you know, dry January, oh, it's going to go down. Well, guess what? We had our best day last Friday. And this month is going to be at least 10 to 15% higher than last month, which is unheard of.
That's awesome.
So we're not stopping. We're not going. So we're only in a few states right now: Georgia, Florida, California, New York, New Jersey, but very light in those places. We're statewide in Georgia, Tennessee. We're just got noticed, like the greatest Christmas gift was Christmas Eve. I got the call that we're going to be in spec stores in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yep, 212 stores. So, that'll be really good. That'll open us up. I just met with somebody that I have a connection through from Ushers New Look, and they're a distributor. It's a woman, a black woman. She's going to be our distributor for Illinois. So we're very, very excited. And like everybody in our, as much as we can, all of our vendors are mostly women, and we're just trying to make sure that we,
You're doing what you said.
Yes.
Like you said, and you're helping people along the way.
Absolutely.
I think that's definitely super important. And sold over 50,000 bottles in the first 7 weeks.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's amazing. That's an amazing, like, I was like, tell people that everywhere. Hey, like, this, like, was that to you, was that a big shock when that happened?
Well, it's funny. We were just, you have to understand, I didn't even look at that. I'm like, I just need to get in here, I need to get in here. And then, when we were building the brand, I built the brand for 2 years before we actually came out. So we had all these people that were, I liken it to building a, like if you were a musician, right, and you had your fan club where you played, where only 4 people are in the room, and then you got to where you are. That's what we were. Like people were like, oh my God, come on, we're really looking forward to the tequila. Where is it? Where is it? When we came out, we went boom, and I was like, holy crap, this is going crazy, and it just kept going and going and going, and it really took off. And as it turns out, the big statistic is that Casamigos sold 1,000 9-liter cases, which in their first year, and we sold 1,137 in our first 7 weeks. So if you think about where can we be $1 billion?
Right.
Yes, absolutely. We're on the trajectory. We're going there. And think of this: we don't have a celebrity.
Yeah, you're the celebrity.
Yeah, but I'm not George Clooney. I'm not, some of these other celebs. And it's because people really understand and feel the mission, and they want to be part of this community, the community of women and women empowerment. And it really comes through on everything we do.
So that's definitely making waves for women empowerment.
Yes.
And I see like this brand, like not even just at like the clubs, but just like Miss America, like sponsoring things like that.
Yep.
That's
our vision. We want to be, have the BIATCH conference where we bring all these women entrepreneurs or just women in general to really network with other great women. And we've actually. We got there, we have our BIATCH conference, BIATCH concert. How cool would that be? To have a whole BIATCH concert of women and really come together.
Are you based out of Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Based here, and you said you were born in
New York.
New York. It's too cold up there. Okay.
Hell yeah. Way too cold.
we just got that little bit of snow.
We're cold here. Like I have my fur jacket.
I saw your video today. It's like I don't dress up too. What'd you say? You don't ever wear pants, but you just like today I will because it was freezing.
It was really cold.
I was outside too. That was a cold day.
I know. I apologize to President Carter because I've never worn pants in front of him.
He
I
understands.
was dressed up. I know because it was really cold and we had to stand outside.
And I keep seeing this over and over that BIATCH is not just a tequila brand.
No.
It's a movement dedicated to celebrating and empowering women.
Yes.
And you meant what you said.
Yes.
Right? And you stand on that.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And how can other women get to you to kind of push the brand more?
Well, it's all about supporting us, right? It's about joining our socials. It's about talking about it. It's about buying, helping, buy the product, because every bottle that you buy just helps us to grow and spread the word. Obviously that's a big deal. And, you know, it's nothing more than what I do. Like if one of our local artists comes out with a t-shirt or a hoodie or something, I always buy it, right? I mean, what's $50 to me, but it means a lot, and it shows that I'm supporting those artists. And that's really what this is about. But, you know, the bottle is beautiful. And of course, I'm sorry that I forgot it today, which is very bad branding, and I should be slapped for that. I know, I'm so sorry, but like we were doing 18,000 things going out the door, and I'm like, so, because we got a lot going on. But, you know, it really is just like putting things out there that women want to be part of. So it's important.
Yeah, and because some people don't get the opportunity, or they don't think they have that reach to do that. So I feel like that is super important. The things that you talked about today, especially, letting know that women that you can get to this point. But with that comes a lot of responsibilities as well. You gotta keep it going, and you gotta get it going and keep it going. But also then invest into other women and get them in the same position. Because I hate when people, and they say people get to a certain point, then they forget about other people. You know,
that drives me crazy.
Yeah, and you see it. Some people do, some people don't, right?
Yep.
And they start off here, but they get here, then they're like, okay, who are y'all?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm super country, y'all.
That's okay.
And Sue, Aunt Sue.
Everyone calls me Aunt Sue.
Aunt Sue. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know.
But you know, that, I mean, that's another big thing, the humbling thing, right? People have met me and they're like, oh, I didn't know you drove a Ferrari. I'm like, what do you think that I go around and, I drive a Ferrari? No, I don't. That's not what I'm genuinely interested in what they're about, what they do, but I also watch how people treat other people, right? I don't care if you're a janitor or the king of whatever, I treat you the same. And that's, I think, what's a very important thing for us to learn and to be aware of, right? Like, don't treat people crappy. It's not nice.
Doesn't return any goodness for you or them.
No, for sure.
And you're always planting those seeds, and you said that with the networking and just knowing people, planting those, I guess, goodwill seeds essentially too as well. Because you don't always expect it to always return, and I mean you don't know if it will return, but if you put the good out there, usually it will return.
Yeah, absolutely. Karma comes back. And, you know, I always go by the thing that my mom used to say to me, if you can't say something nice, then don't say anything. You know, all these people that hate on stuff, that takes a lot of energy.
It does.
I'm like, why do you do that? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm all about positivity. The worst thing can happen, and I always look for the positive part of it. Like, okay, what can I learn from this, and what are the positive parts? Because that's what's important. And people got to learn that. Like, if you Debbie down yourself, you're always going to be a downer. We can't do that. You always got to think big, think high, and always go for the best.
What advice would you give other worktrepreneurs who want to lead with purpose?
The really big thing is lead by example, and also the hustle. Like, it's not easy. Again, we're kind of like the magicians, right? We make, look at it, we make things look easy, but they didn't see that, I only had 3 hours of sleep last night because I was talking to China for 2 hours to figure out what we're gonna do because it's coming up to Chinese New Year, and I've got to get this stuff so we get it here by June. Like, they don't see all that, right? And like, I don't know, maybe I have little bags under my eyes from being up so late. But, you know, those are the kinds of things that we make it look easy, and don't assume that it is that easy. And if you're not working hard, then you're probably not as successful as you should be.
Tell people where to follow you at.
Well, you can look me up on Instagram and all the other social media platforms. I'm Aunt Sue. Aunt Sue HRIB, but just look up Aunt Sue, I'll pop up #1. And then BIATCH Tequila, BIATCH Tequila, on every platform. That's branding.
I can't wait to try it. I'm excited
I
to
know.
try it.
Sorry, I'll have to do that, and we'll have to do little shots.
No, it's these are for you.
Oh,
Appreciate
that
you.
is so sweet. You know
I
what?
thought
You know what?
you-
This is my love language. No, flowers are my love language. I really appreciate this. Beautiful.
I wanted
Thank
to give you your flowers.
Oh,
'Cause
thank you.
You're doing the thing, and you're out there empowering a lot of women. So
Thank you.
I'm excited to see those 50 millionaires.
Honey, I'll be posting this tonight. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for real. You're so cool.
Thanks, sweetie.
Look at the shoe cam waving them around real there like this. I wish I was home. No, thank you so much.
There's no place like home.
Let me walk y'all out real quick.